I was watching line 3 shut down for the third time this month when my phone buzzed. Text from Jennifer Parker, my plant director. Chris, we're promoting Michelle Rodriguez to operations director instead of you. She brings fresh perspective. Announcement at 3 p.m. No explanation, no meeting, just a text message after 22 years of keeping Keystone Steel Works running. I'm Christopher Walsh, 47 years old, and I've been working steel since I was 25. Started right after my Navy discharge. Learned everything hands-on in the Pittsburgh mills. I set the phone down on my clipboard and walked out to the production floor. The hum of the furnaces felt different now, like equipment running out of spec. Jennifer was standing near the quality control station, coffee in hand, talking to Michelle like she just solved our throughput problems. Michelle had her MBA from Wharton and a smile that looked good in board meetings. What she didn't have was any idea how to actually run a steel operation. I'd been training her for 6 months, showing her the preventive maintenance schedules I developed, the process controls that cut our scrap by 15%, the vendor relationships I'd built over 2 decades. She took notes, asked smart questions, and apparently decided my job looked better than hers. When I reached them, Jennifer handed me an envelope. Thanks for mentoring Michelle, she said. She's really absorbed your systems approach. My systems approach, that's what we were calling it now. I opened the envelope while they watched. Inside was a performance review and a lateral transfer to senior technical advisor. Same pay, less authority, and a cubicle instead of an office. They wanted me to train my replacement and step aside quietly. I folded the papers and put them in my back pocket. When does this take effect? Monday, Jennifer said. Michelle's got some exciting optimization projects lined up. Optimization projects using the process documentation I'd spent years developing. The maintenance protocols that kept our downtime under 2%. The supplier agreements I'd negotiated personally. All of it would get rebranded as data-driven innovation. My wife Sarah had been expecting this promotion. We talked about it over dinner for months. The extra money would help with our son's college tuition and finally pay off the mortgage early. Now I'd have to explain why 22 years of dedication wasn't enough. But here's what they didn't know. For the past 6 months, I'd been having conversations with Daniel Murphy, who runs a family steel operation about 35 miles east called Murphy Steel. Started as vendor meetings, turned into something more. Dan appreciated Navy reliability over PowerPoint presentations. That afternoon, I cleaned out my office. 22 years of documentation, vendor contacts, process improvements, and troubleshooting guides went into boxes, not because I was bitter, because it was mine. Developed on my own time with my own experience, never formally documented in company systems. The preventive maintenance schedules I'd created based on 20 years of watching furnaces fail. The vendor relationships that got us priority service and bulk discounts, built through handshakes and keeping my word. The steel processing protocols that transformed our quality ratings through trial and error from decades of solving problems. I left copies of the official procedures, but the real knowledge, the experience that made those procedures work, that walked out with me. That night, I sat down at my kitchen table and wrote my resignation letter. 2 pages of professional language, thanking them for the opportunity, expressing appreciation for my colleagues, standard corporate farewell stuff. But the last line was different. After all the polite language and diplomatic phrases I wrote, the institutional systems that keep this facility operational will transition with my departure on Friday. Sarah read it over my shoulder. That's going to get their attention. That's the point, I said. They think they can just plug Michelle into my role like changing a light bulb. They're about to find out the difference between having procedures and understanding how to use them. I sealed the letter and left it on Jennifer's desk before dawn on Friday morning. By the time she found it, I'd already started my weekend. Monday morning, Michelle moved into my office. New nameplate, fresh flowers, a whiteboard covered in MBA buzzwords like synergistic optimization and data-driven efficiency metrics. She called an all-hands meeting to introduce her vision. We're going to revolutionize our approach, she announced. Chris built a solid foundation, but it's time to move beyond old-school methods and embrace innovation. The floor supervisors looked at each other. Timothy Brooks, who'd worked with me for 14 years, just shook his head. These guys knew the difference between theory and reality. By Wednesday, the first problem started. Furnace 2 went down for what should have been routine maintenance. But the documentation Michelle was following didn't include the specific temperature ramp protocols for our particular alloy mix. Standard procedure said 2,100 Fahrenheit. Experience said 2,080 bs for our setup because of the ambient cooling variations. They ramped to 2,100. Thermal stress cracked the refractory lining within 8 hours. 12-hour shutdown while they waited for replacement materials. Thursday brought another issue. Our primary steel supplier, Martinez Industrial, needed to discuss delivery schedules. Michelle scheduled a formal meeting with contracts and presentations. What she didn't know was that Martinez had been flexible with us for years because of personal relationships. Anthony Martinez and I went way back. We'd worked through supply shortages, payment delays, and quality issues with handshake agreements. Tony called me directly. "Chris, what's going on over there?" "This new person wants to renegotiate everything. Says she's optimizing vendor relationships." I told him I wasn't involved anymore. He said Martinez would honor existing contracts, but wouldn't be extending any special accommodations going forward. No more priority deliveries. No more bulk discount pricing. Everything by the book. By the second week, the cracks were showing. Production efficiency dropped 12%. Maintenance costs jumped because they were using generic procedures instead of equipment-specific protocols. 2 suppliers stopped offering preferred pricing. Tim started texting me updates, not because I asked, but because he was watching 22 years of systems work fall apart in real time. "She's got consultants coming in," he wrote, "going to analyze our processes and recommend improvements. The same processes I'd built through years of trial and error." Now they'd pay consultants $180 an hour to tell them what they already had. Meanwhile, I was settling in at Murphy Steel. Dan's operation was smaller but smarter. Family-owned, 3 generations of building quality products without corporate nonsense. When I explained what I could bring to their operation, Dan didn't ask for presentations or data projections. "Show me," he said. I spent 2 weeks analyzing their production flow. Identified bottlenecks they'd been working around for years. Proposed modifications to their preventive maintenance program. Suggested vendor consolidation that could cut material costs 14%. Dan gave me free rein. "You've been doing this longer than my son's been alive. Make it work." And it did work. Within a month, we'd improved their line efficiency 16%, cut downtime by 30%, streamlined their supply chains so deliveries came when needed, not when convenient for suppliers. The best part, Dan offered equity. Not just a job, but ownership stake in improvements I created. After 22 years of making other people's operations profitable, someone finally wanted to share the upside. Back at Keystone, things kept deteriorating. The consultants finished their analysis and recommended implementing optimized lean manufacturing protocols. Basically, they reverse-engineered my old systems, gave them fancy names, and charged $95,000 for the privilege. But implementation was a disaster. The consultants understood theory, not application. They saw the procedures but missed the context. Equipment that needed specific handling got generic treatment. Suppliers that required personal relationships got form letters. Tim's updates got more frequent. Third, furnace failure this month. Jennifer's looking stressed. Michelle's blaming legacy equipment and inherited inefficiencies. Inherited inefficiencies. That's what they were calling 22 years of keeping that place running profitably. Then came the call I'd been waiting for. Jennifer's number showed up on my phone at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday night. "Chris, I just read your resignation letter again. What did you mean about institutional systems transitioning with your departure?" I could hear the panic in her voice. She'd finally connected the dots between my letter and the cascade of problems hitting them daily. Exactly what I wrote, Jennifer. The knowledge that makes those procedures work walked out with me. But we have all the documentation. Michelle's following your protocols. You have copies of forms, I said. You don't have 22 years of understanding what those forms actually mean. There's a difference between reading instructions and knowing how to use them. Chris, we need you back. I can offer you the operations director position. Michelle can report to you. Too little, too late. I'm not available. What would it take? Nothing you can offer. You made your choice. Now live with it. I hung up and went back to sleep. Sarah had heard the whole conversation. Think they're finally realizing what they lost, she asked. Beginning to, I said. But they still think this is about hurt feelings instead of institutional knowledge. The breaking point came during their second month of consultant-driven improvements. Line 1 went down completely. Not routine maintenance, but catastrophic bearing failure that should have been prevented by proper monitoring protocols. the kind I developed specifically to catch early warning signs, but Michelle's team was following consultant recommendations, not real-world experience. They missed the vibration patterns, ignored the temperature spikes, and pushed equipment past safe operating parameters because the data said it was within acceptable ranges. One 18-hour shutdown, emergency replacement parts, overtime crews working through the weekend, customer delivery delays that triggered penalty clauses. The kind of cascading failure that happens when you replace institutional knowledge with theoretical frameworks. Tim texted me a photo from the plant floor, Michelle's and Jennifer's office getting screamed at. Word is the board wants answers. I didn't feel satisfaction looking at that picture, just sadness. 22 years of building reliable systems destroyed because someone confused credentials with capability. At Murphy Steel, we were hitting our stride. The efficiency improvements I'd implemented were generating serious profits. Dan was talking expansion. We'd landed 3 major contracts by underbidding competitors who couldn't match our cost structure. Chris, Dan said one afternoon, how would you feel about taking over as operations director? Full authority, equity stake, and we're setting up profit sharing for the floor supervisors. Operations director, the same job I'd been denied at Keystone, but with real authority and shared ownership at a place that valued results over politics. Sarah was thrilled when I told her that night. The salary increase was significant, but the equity stake was life-changing. For the first time in 22 years, my expertise would build wealth for our family instead of just generating profits for someone else's bottom line. You deserve this, she said. 22 years of them taking you for granted. Now they'll see what they lost. The irony got better. 8 months after I joined Murphy, we started competing directly with Keystone. Same customer base, similar products, but we could deliver faster and cheaper because our operation actually worked. The first contract we won was a big one. Automotive parts supplier that had worked with Keystone for years. When they put the job out for bid, Murphy came in 20% lower with better delivery timelines. Tim texted me that night, heard you guys won the Patterson account. Jennifer called an emergency management meeting. Michelle saying we need to reassess our competitive positioning. Recess our competitive positioning. She was learning that process documentation without understanding is just expensive paperwork. More contracts followed. Our lean operation could underbid the bloated bureaucracy I'd left behind. Customers who remembered my reliability followed the work to Murphy. Suppliers who valued relationship-based business gave us priority treatment. The automotive supplier who'd switched to us called Dan directly. Your operations manager, Chris, used to work at our previous vendor. We followed him here because he actually delivers what he promises. Rare these days. Word spreads fast in steel. Customers talk to other customers, suppliers compare notes. When you've built trust over decades, people remember. And when that trust walks out the door of one company, it doesn't disappear, it just relocates. Within 10 months, Keystone was in serious trouble. Equipment failures were constant, because they'd abandoned the maintenance protocols that actually worked in favor of consultant-recommended optimization. Production delays were affecting customer relationships. They'd burned through 4 different consulting firms trying to solve problems I could have prevented with a single phone call. The final straw came when their biggest customer, Thompson Industries, terminated their contract early. Quality issues, delivery delays, and communication problems had eroded a relationship that took years to build. Thompson's purchasing manager called me the day after they canceled. Chris, heard you're at Murphy now. We've got a manufacturing need coming up. You interested in bidding? Just like that. A $3.2 million annual contract walked out of Keystone's portfolio and into ours. Not because we poached it, but because competence has a reputation that follows you wherever you go. 2 weeks later, Jennifer called again, this time at 8:30 on a Thursday morning during business hours, more desperate than the midnight panic call. Chris, we need to talk. Can you come in today? I could hear the desperation under her professional tone. Production problems were becoming cost overruns. Customer complaints were turning into contract reviews. The board was asking questions Jennifer couldn't answer. I've got 30 minutes at 2 p.m., I told her. When I walked into her office that afternoon, Jennifer looked like she'd aged 5 years in 10 months. Michelle was there too, laptop open, looking defensive. We're having some operational challenges, Jennifer began. Transition issues. We were hoping you might consult on some technical matters. They wanted to hire me back as a contractor to fix the problems created by replacing me. What kind of technical matters? I asked. Michelle jumped in. We're experiencing some equipment reliability issues and supplier relationship complications. Your institutional knowledge could help us optimize our troubleshooting protocols. Institutional knowledge, supplier relationship complications. She was describing the collapse of everything I built, using MBA language to avoid saying they'd made a mistake. You want me to fix the problems you created by getting rid of me, I said. Jennifer shifted uncomfortably. It's not that simple, Chris. We value your expertise. We're prepared to offer competitive consulting rates, $140 an hour, short-term basis. I almost laughed. They were willing to pay me $140 an hour to rebuild systems I'd maintained for years at my regular salary. And when I finished, Michelle would get the credit for turning around operational challenges. I appreciate the offer, I said, but I'm not available. Jennifer's face went pale. Chris, be reasonable. We can work something out. I'm being reasonable, I said. You decided you didn't need my expertise. Turns out you were wrong. That's not my problem anymore. I left that meeting knowing they were in real trouble. Equipment failures were increasing. Costs were climbing. Customer satisfaction was dropping, and their solution was to throw consulting dollars at problems that required experience. 3 weeks later, Tim texted me with news that made everything clear. Michelle got fired today. Board meeting this morning. Jennifer's announcing early retirement next month. The house of cards had finally collapsed. Not because I pushed it, but because I'd walked away with the foundation and taken it somewhere that appreciated its value. At Murphy Steel, we were preparing for our biggest expansion yet. The success we'd achieved in the first year had attracted attention from a major automotive consortium. They wanted to discuss a long-term partnership that would double our production capacity. Dan called me into his office the morning before the meeting. Chris, this is your show. You built what they want to buy. I want you to lead the negotiation, leading negotiations, making strategic decisions, having my expertise recognized and rewarded. Everything I'd been denied at Keystone was becoming reality at Murphy. The automotive consortium meeting went better than expected. They'd done their homework, researched our efficiency improvements, talked to our customers. Your reliability metrics are exceptional, their lead negotiator said. 18 months of on-time delivery, 0 quality complaints, industry-leading cost structure. How do you maintain that level of performance? Experience, I told him. We don't chase theories. We solve problems. They offered a 5-year partnership worth $7.8 million annually. Guaranteed volume, premium pricing, and profit-sharing incentives for meeting performance targets. The kind of deal that transforms a family business into an industry leader. That night, Sarah and I celebrated over dinner at the steakhouse where we'd had our first date 23 years ago. The equity stake I'd earned at Murphy was now worth serious money. Our son's college tuition was covered. The mortgage would be paid off within 18 months. You know what the best part is, Sarah said. It's not the money. It's seeing you respected for what you do instead of taken for granted. She was right. For 22 years, I'd been treated like a necessary expense instead of a valuable asset. Now my expertise was generating wealth instead of just preventing problems. 2 months later, I got a call that brought everything full circle. The private equity firm that had bought Keystone after its collapse wanted to meet. They'd heard about my track record at Murphy and were interested in hiring me to turn around their struggling acquisition. We understand you built the original systems, their representative said. The facility has potential, but it needs experienced leadership. We're prepared to offer significant compensation for your expertise. They wanted to pay me $155,000 base salary plus performance bonuses to rebuild what I'd already built once. The irony was perfect. They destroyed my life's work, then offered to pay me premium rates to recreate it. I'm not interested, I told them. That facility had its chance with my systems. They chose differently. Mr. Walsh, be practical. This could be very lucrative for you. It's not about money, I said. It's about respect. That place never valued what I brought to it. I'm not interested in going back to fix their mistakes. The industry trade publication ran a feature story 2 weeks later. Murphy Steel experienced Trump's theory in competitive manufacturing. The article detailed our success using proven lean manufacturing principles and veteran leadership. My phone rang within hours of publication. Industry contacts, former colleagues, even competitors wanting to know how we'd achieved such dramatic improvements. The manufacturing community is small. Word travels fast when someone gets results. But the call that meant the most came from my old Navy chief who'd retired 3 years ago. He'd seen the article and wanted to congratulate me. Walsh, I've been following your career for 20 years, he said. What you've built at Murphy is what manufacturing used to be about. Competence, reliability, and respect for the work. You should be proud. Coming from Chief, that meant everything. He taught me that manufacturing wasn't just about making things work, but about building something that lasted, something you could be proud to put your name on. The final chapter came exactly 1 year after I'd left Keystone. Tim, who'd managed to survive the chaos, called with an update that brought everything full circle. "Chris, you're not going to believe this," he said. "The private equity guys shut down the whole operation yesterday. Sold the equipment to a scrap dealer. Buildings going up for lease. 22 years of building something solid. Destroyed in 18 months by people who confused credentials with capability." But that wasn't my story anymore. Mine was still being written. At Murphy Steel, we were celebrating our most successful quarter in company history. The automotive partnership had exceeded projections by 30%. Our workforce had grown from 38 to 65 employees. Dan was talking about opening a second facility to handle overflow demand. That morning, he called me into his office with news that changed everything again. "Chris, I've been thinking about succession planning. My son's more interested in law school than manufacturing. Would you consider becoming my partner?" Full 50/50 ownership after a 3-year transition period. Partnership. Not employment, but ownership. After spending 22 years making other people wealthy with my expertise, someone wanted to share the equity I created. "What would that look like?" I asked. "You buy in at current valuation, which your profit sharing has more than covered. We restructure as Murphy Walsh Steel. You take over day-to-day operations. I handle strategic planning and customer relationships. We build this thing together. Murphy Walsh Steel. My name on the building. My expertise creating wealth for my family instead of just preventing problems for someone else's company." That night, Sarah and I sat on our back porch talking about the offer. Our son was finishing his sophomore year at Penn State with no student loans. Our daughter was looking at colleges without worrying about cost. The mortgage would be paid off next year, 11 years early. "What do you think?" I asked her. "I think you've earned this 10 times over," she said. 22 years of them taking you for granted. And now someone wants to make you an equal partner. That's what respect looks like. 3 months later, the sign went up. Murphy Walsh Steel. My name in letters 3 feet tall, visible from the interstate. 47 years old and finally building something that belonged to me. The transition happened faster than expected. Dan's vision and my operational expertise created synergy neither of us had anticipated. Orders were increasing monthly. Our reputation for reliability and innovation was attracting customers from across the region. One morning, while reviewing production reports, I got a LinkedIn message that made me smile. Michelle Rodriguez had found a new position as process improvement specialist at a consulting firm in Ohio. Her profile highlighted her experience leading operational transformation initiatives in challenging manufacturing environments. Leading operational transformation initiatives. That's how you describe destroying 22 years of proven systems and getting fired for incompetence. But the message that meant the most came from an unexpected source. Anthony Martinez from Martinez Industrial, our old supplier, called to congratulate me on the partnership announcement. "Chris, I've been following your success at Murphy Walsh. Impressive turnaround. We'd like to discuss becoming your primary supplier again. Same terms we had when you were at Keystone. When you were reliable people is what he meant." That said everything about the difference between building relationships and managing vendor databases. 6 months into the partnership, Manufacturing Weekly ran a cover story. Murphy Walsh Steel. How old school values beat new age theory. The article featured a photo of me standing next to our newest production line, explaining how experience-based decision-making outperforms data-driven theory. In today's manufacturing environment, I told the reporter, everyone wants to optimize and innovate, but sometimes the best innovation is just doing proven things consistently well. Our success comes from respecting the fundamentals, not reinventing them. The story generated calls from industry groups wanting me to speak at conferences, universities asking me to guest lecture on practical manufacturing management, trade associations offering board positions. Recognition I'd never sought was finally coming. Not because I'd played political games, but because I'd focused on building something that worked. Today, I'm sitting in my office at Murphy Walsh Steel, reviewing expansion plans for our new automotive division. On my desk is a framed photo of our original production line, and a copy of the Manufacturing Weekly cover, not because I'm dwelling on the past, but because they remind me of the journey from being undervalued to being irreplaceable. Dan stopped by this morning with profit-sharing calculations for the year. Our 65 employees are getting bonuses averaging $2,400 each. Tim Brooks, who followed me from Keystone 8 months ago, is now our floor supervisor with equity participation. Chris, this operation's performing 25% above projections, Dan said. The partnership's working exactly like we hoped. Our people are telling me this is the best place they've ever worked. That's what happens when you value experience over credentials, relationships over reorganizations, and results over theories. When you remember that manufacturing is about making things work, not making presentations look impressive. The site where Keystone Steelworks operated for 40 years is now a strip mall. Home Depot anchors one end. Chain restaurants fill the middle. The loading docks, where I spent 22 years receiving materials, are now parking spaces for people buying lawnmowers and eating fast food, but that's their story. Mine continues every day at 6 a.m. when I walk through our production facility, checking equipment, talking to operators, solving problems that textbooks never mentioned, building something solid, something lasting, something I can put my name on with pride. Michelle's probably somewhere explaining to interview panels how she led operational optimization initiatives and drove organizational transformation. The consulting firm that hired her can figure out what that actually means. Me, I'm building Murphy Walsh Steel into something that will outlast us all. One reliable production run at a time. Because in the end, that's what manufacturing is really about. Making things work, keeping promises, and respecting the people who do the actual work. And sometimes, if you're lucky, the respect comes back to you. The resignation letter I wrote that night at my kitchen table did exactly what I intended. It wasn't about burning bridges or making threats. It was about stating a simple truth. Institutional knowledge isn't transferable through documentation. It walks out with the person who built it. Jennifer learned that lesson the hard way when she read my last line and realized what they were losing. By then, it was too late. The systems that kept Keystone running weren't on paper. They were in my head, built through decades of solving problems and understanding how things really worked. Respect isn't given to titles, it's earned through results. And it follows you wherever your competence leads. The best revenge against being undervalued isn't proving them wrong. It's building something so successful that their opinion becomes irrelevant. When you walk away from people who don't value your worth, you're not just changing jobs, you're teaching them the true cost of taking expertise for granted. The most powerful position isn't being irreplaceable at one company, but being so valuable that multiple companies compete for what you bring to the table.